What's up, everybody? Welcome to Move the Sticks, presented by Grifols Plasma Donation Centers. DJ Bucky back together, and we're going to have a lot of ground to cover in this episode today. You're going to look at a little more at the Colts and what's going on in their situation. You're going to look back at last night's game between the Ravens and the Saints. But Buck, let's start things off here. Excited to bring in a guest from the New England Patriots, Kyle Dugger, who was a favorite of ours going into the 2020 draft. Has had a really outstanding young career there with the Patriots. Kyle, come on in here, man. I appreciate you taking some time for us today. I'd be curious to know, first of all, just how the body's feeling right now as we're kind of in that midpoint of the season.
It's felt better. It actually feels pretty good right now. Coming off an ankle, it's recovering well, and I'm feeling good going into the bye week.
You know, Cal, a lot of the conversation around you coming in was going from a small school, jumping to the National Football League. How long would it take you to adjust and acclimate to the NFL game and to maybe the complexities of being in a pro system? How was that adjustment for you going from Lenore Ryan to joining the New England Patriots?
It definitely was. It wasn't super easy. It was at the end of the day, it's still football, but there was definitely some things that I just hadn't seen yet that I had to learn and experience. So I think the coaches and especially the veterans made it better for me and helped me transition a lot better. But yeah, it was not too crazy, but it wasn't too easy either. So.
One of the things we hear a lot when we talk to guys who've played for the Patriots and working with Willie McGinnis, for a long time here, always impressed by the detail of the coaching that you get with the New England Patriots. Was there an eye-opening moment for you when you had a moment where you're just like, man, they pay attention to every single last thing up here?
Yeah. So for me, it was day one when they were critiquing me almost as much as I was critiquing myself. I'm heavy on myself, and they were right up there with me. And I was like, man, I'm running out of stuff to say about myself, and they kind of getting me. So that's when I kind of realized, like, yeah, they're on everything.
You know, it's funny because I hear so much of that in talking to Willie McGinnis. It's not only the details when it comes to the teaching. I hear about the legendary conditioning tests and the amount of running that you guys do. Is that true? Do you guys really run a lot? Is that something that has just kind of become the urban legend?
Nah, that's 100% true. We run, we squat. That's what we do. We condition. So there's no lies being told.
I love that, man. We're kind of dispelling rumors and confirming things. So while we're on that vein, I'm going back through my notes and looking at it when you were coming out, Kyle. And I had in here on the background stuff I did on you that they told me you were a 5'6" freshman in high school. And seeing you at the combine when you're almost 6'1", 217 pounds, I was finding that hard to believe. Can you confirm that? Were you really 5'6" as a freshman in high school?
Yes, I was tiny, 5'6", probably about $135. So it's true.
When did the growth spurt happen? When did that take place?
So really from my sophomore year to probably my freshman year in college, it just kind of all happened throughout that time, and the weight kind of came with it. So yeah, just over that 4-year course or whatever.
You know, of late, Cal, you guys have been playing really good defense, and you're doing a great job of like keeping the ball in front. You guys get after it, and so when it comes from a philosophical standpoint, what are the things that your coaches are always talking about that's important when it comes to playing great defense in the National Football League?
So it's starting with communication. For one, pre-snap, post-snap, you can never communicate, over-communicate out there. Second, I say just doing our job, trusting the man next to us, not getting kind of, out of our a little greedy or maybe peeking in the window where we're not supposed to be, just kind of relying on our man and, doing our job so that other people can make plays off of us. So just everybody kind of doing their 111 for sure.
Yeah, how key is that? When you look at teams, you say, okay, it's a collection of talented individuals, but it just seems like the Patriots forever. You guys have played great team defense, and there's something about being selfless and not trying to do too much. How do you balance that between kind of your natural playmaker instincts, but knowing, hey, I've got my assignment, we need to all do our individual jobs?
Well, that's what it comes down to, being selfless. You have to sacrifice for the team. It's as simple as that. And so once you kind of, you know, realize that, you know, that's the most important thing, you kind of just, you know, you do it, and you know everybody else is doing it for you as well. And if everybody does it, you know, at the same, everybody's going to eat eventually. Everybody's going to kind of share some of the success. So it kind of comes around full circle.
You know, on the outside, Cal, you guys, the Patriots, have kind of been viewed as the evil empire because of the success that they've had over the last 2 decades. When you step into that building and you know the team has been successful, do you feel the standards? Are the standards impressed upon you? Or you just kind of know that I need to pick up my play because winning is the expectation that they've won for so long?
100%. You know you got to pick up your play. You don't want to be that guy to drop it. You know where the bar is, and you definitely don't want to be that guy to kind of let it waver or fall. So, you know, it's always kind of, you know, everybody's going to give 150% to make sure that they're not that guy. So you make sure you're not that guy as well.
Kyle, what have you seen inside this division this year? You look at it, everybody in your division's got a winning record. What is it about the AFC East that's made it one of the toughest divisions in football right now?
You know, I honestly can't say. I haven't paid a whole lot of attention to the other teams, but one thing that I can't really ignore is just the offense in general from, you know, Miami, Buffalo. They have really strong offenses. So, you know, that in itself always makes a team, you know, that much harder to compete against. And so that I'll start with that, I say.
Okay, I mean, you kind of lead me to a great point because you talked about Buffalo and their offense, and their offense is led by a quarterback in Josh Allen. And we're kind of seeing maybe a revolution at the quarterback position where we're seeing more of these athletic playmakers step in at quarterback and really challenge the defense, not only as passers, but as runners. From a defensive standpoint, what's the challenge in defending a dual threat playmaker at quarterback?
So it starts with being in man coverage. You know, it starts with containing the quarterback. Once he gets out of that pocket, you have to, you know, plaster your defender, or the offensive player. But you also see a quarterback running around, you know, have the potential to, you know, get a first down or big yards. So it kind of gets difficult once he gets outside of that pocket, and also has the option to, you know, continue looking downfield and make a play too. So it's just kind of, you know, hard to contain it all, I say.
I'm going to ask you to put your scouting hat here, Kyle. Bucky and myself, when our time scouting in the league, we saw the league really start to trend towards this positionless players. You see it on offense with guys that can kind of morph between, you know, being a slot receiver, you can line up in the backfield, you can do different things with a guy like Deebo Samuel. And then there's players like yourself who can line up in so many different spots and do so many different things defensively. How much of an advantage is it to have guys that can perform in multiple positions and multiple roles?
I think it's huge. It just makes it that much harder for the offense at the end of the day. You know, you put guys in multiple positions, you can't really. It's hard to game plan for them, I feel like. So I think it just makes it that much harder for the quarterbacks to kind of, you know, get a jump or, you know, see a tendency or where this guy's going to be and things like that. It just makes it difficult for them.
You know, Cal, so DJ and I are former scouts, and we're always looking to improve on the craft. And so we can talk about all the physical things, but from an intangible standpoint, if you were scouting, if you wanted someone to be your teammate, what would be the number one trait that you would look for?
So it'd be their off the field work habits. So film study, how they learn from failure if they make the same mistake twice. And then their ability to, you know, take care of their body and handle adversity would be the things I would look for as a scout. But it definitely start with film study and having that love for the game.
I love that, Kyle. One of the things we've noticed in talking to guys as they're coming into the draft every year is that guys that tend to have a routine, that translates well to the next level. Have you developed a nice routine on a weekly basis in terms of balancing, you know, taking care of your body, as you mentioned, as well as studying what you need to study?
Yeah, I definitely have. It changes, you know, with different obstacles. But I definitely have developed a nice little routine that can keep me where I need to be physically and mentally.
Last question for me. So, Cal, having been in locker rooms and having been kind of like the guy that was the veteran, giving advice, what is the best piece of advice that you've gotten from a veteran player that has helped you early in your career?
Ooh. So that's I have to go back to probably my rookie year. Just the time to kind of fill that cup up off the field. So before the season starts, spending time with family and kind of making sure that you're ready to take on a full season and be locked in for 17, 18 weeks or 20 plus weeks. So definitely that off season, filling that cup up, resting your mental and getting ready for a long season.
All right, this is the last one from me, and this is a very serious question that we need a serious answer. You went to Lenoir-Rhyne. I went to Appalachian State. Bucky went to UNC, so we know that area. And I know Lenoir's famous for furniture. They make furniture there. I think I bought a little couch there for my dorm at one point in time. So favorite piece of furniture in the Duggar household? Is it a chair? Is it a sofa? What are we working with here? What's your go-to piece of furniture?
Man. I had to say probably the couch, I guess. Actually, you know, I'm gonna say we got some beanbag chairs that they can get pretty comfy.
Okay.
On a long day, so I had to say the beanbag chairs we got.
Yeah, beanbag chairs, they're functional. You can play video games in beanbag chairs. You can watch TV. I mean, you get some film work done. It's a versatile, It's an underrated piece of furniture there, Kyle. That's a great answer, man. Hey, it's been great to visit with you. It's been fun to watch your young career blossom. Just keep doing what you're doing, man. We're fans. We continue to be so. Just keep doing your thing, man. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
There you go, Buck. There's Kyle Duggar, the New England Patriots. It's always fun to see guys who are having success early in their career, and it's not a coincidence. Those guys have a pattern. They have a workflow that works for them, and man, he's off to a great start, especially when you consider the jump he made from Lenoir-Rhyne right to the New England Patriots, Buck.
Yeah, no, DJ, like, it's really fascinating because when you go and you dig down, the fact that he went from a small school, jumped to the Patriots starting lineup, was able to play a variety of spots, and has now become one of the anchor people on their defense. I think it speaks volumes to not only his ability to assimilate to the NFL game, but some of the things that he desires in a teammate, the intangible qualities, the work ethic, the resilience, the focus, and maybe the seriousness when it comes to really approaching his profession. I think you can feel that, and I think those intangibles have allowed him to kind of jump into this lineup and make plays for the Patriots.
Oh, no doubt. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. There's more to dig into on the Colts situation. Frank Reich is no longer the coach there. I have some thoughts on the quarterback situation there and where this team can go forward. I want to get your thoughts on it as well, Buck. We'll get to that right after this.
NFL Plus is the league's new exclusive video streaming subscription service. NFL Plus has your game day covered with live local and primetime regular and postseason games right on your phone or tablet. NFL Plus is available in the NFL app and at NFL.com. Subscription plans start at just $4.99 a month. Fans can visit plus.nfl.com and sign up for a free trial of NFL Plus today. So DJ, you gotta love it that another Tar Heel is now joining the ranks as an NFL head coach. Jeff Saturday was named interim head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. He joins Arthur Smith as another former Tar Heel who is leading a team. Now, this circumstance is a little different than the circumstance that Arthur Smith inherited because he's a full-time coach. He had a chance to pick his squad and do his stuff. Jeff Saturday is jumping in the middle of the season, and we can talk about all the things that are wrong with the Colts. The offensive line, the running game not getting going. But the number one issue that they have is who should be the quarterback. So when you look at the Colts right now, and the first decision you have to make is the quarterback, which way are you leaning? How would you fix this?
Well, if you're looking at trying to win games, I would think you probably go to Nick Foles here as your quarterback. Matt Ryan, I think there's a situation there with the contract. You don't want to get him hurt and be on the hook for some money next year. I understand that. I think Tony Dungy actually talked about that a little bit. I think it was on with Dan Patrick and kind of brought that up. So I get if you want to move away from Matt Ryan, but Sam Ehlinger hasn't shown you a lot of promise there. Maybe you give him one more game, Buck. But if you're really trying to win football games, I think Nick Foles gives you the best chance to do that. Everybody kind of forgets that he's on the roster there, but that would be one thing I would keep an eye on. But I don't know. I mean, some people are throwing it out there. Oh, are they? They're not going all out to win games, trying to position themselves in the draft. They need a quarterback. Obviously, they've failed to do that over the last, all the way back to Andrew Luck since they've gone and got a quarterback there in the first round. So that could be maybe there's something to that, I guess. But to me, I want to kind of move it beyond this year. I know we got to play out this string, but I have a thought for you here. Let me know what you think. But we've talked on here before about a team kind of committing to a college offense, and we've seen the Ravens do it to a degree. Lamar has continued to grow and evolve as a passer. We'll get to his performance against the Saints later today. But we've talked about just running the quarterback, being ultra aggressive with that. I could make a case that the Colts roster, the way it's constructed, with some pretty good pieces on defense, with an offensive line that's better built to run block, with arguably the best running back in the league in Jonathan Taylor, maybe they should be one of those teams to finally do that. Go out and get one or two athletic quarterbacks in the draft. Maybe you take one in the first round and then one in the fourth round, and you get guys that can really, really run, and you commit to this, this new lifestyle, so to speak, of offense. They might be a candidate to go that route.
Well, DJ, if that's going to be the route, they can do it right now with the quarterback that they have in Sam Ehlinger. I think people forgot at Texas, this guy had over 30 rushing touchdowns. He was a monster when it came to red zone efficiency, being able to run the ball in. And so if you're going to do it, there are a couple things that happen when we do it. One, the offensive line. You can mask some of the offensive line's deficiencies by beginning to utilize read option plays, meaning they don't have to block everyone on the line of scrimmage. The most problematic defender, you can read him. And so now it kind of levels the playing field if you're having a problem at the line of scrimmage. The other thing it does is when your quarterback runs the football, it really creates lanes for your running back. So we know that Jonathan Taylor is a top 5 running back in this game. But when you don't have another option in the backfield, all eyes are on him. Well, if you begin to run the quarterback, it now evens up the numbers. It eliminates the +1 advantage that defenders have because now you have to account for the quarterback, and it creates bigger lanes for Jonathan Taylor. So when you think about the Baltimore Ravens and what they've been able to do with, I would say, unheralded running backs, but because all the attention is on Lamar Jackson, though other guys are able to get off. I think if you're the Indianapolis Colts and you're looking at the personnel that you have, you don't have an established number 1 receiver. You have an offensive line that's supposed to be the strength, and you have a bell cow running back. This team has to be a run-centric team. Going the collegiate route certainly has to be something that you entertain. Even if you don't go full bore in, you have to begin to do some of these things because that's what your young quarterback did well. It makes sense to at least begin the process and then evaluate how you want to go forward at the end of the season when it comes to the draft.
Yeah, the one thing I would just mention on that, though, I would say Sam Ehlinger, it's not a direct comparison, but remember Tebow had all the rushing success in college. Tebow was a high 4.7. Sam Ehlinger's a 4.82. Like I'm saying, like you go out in the draft, you look at somebody like Tyler Huntley, who's the backup for Lamar Jackson, who can really go. You look at Malik Cunningham, somebody from Louisville. I don't know when you got to take Malik Cunningham, 4th round. You're talking about guys, he's probably got legit 4.4 speed. Like you could get a real speed merchant. Look at the way Justin Fields is running. Obviously, Justin is going to be further along as a passer than what you'd be able to get out of an athletic quarterback in this draft. But that's what I'm saying. Like, go get some real juice in the backfield where you've got to account for him and he can really go if he does keep the ball.
Well, look, they all have to look at their division rival. I wonder what the Tennessee Titans would have looked like on Sunday night against the Kansas City Chiefs if they had kind of put in some of that stuff for Malik Willis to run. It's one thing for him to hand it off and run bootlegs and those things. It's another to say, hey, Derrick Henry, Malik Willis, we're going to use you guys as if it was a Saturday night and this was the college football game of the week. And so when you start doing those things, it certainly changes the dynamic of your team. The thing would be, in this draft, if you talk about what we're saying, double up, Who is the guy that you take in the first round to be that main guy that does some of this stuff, and then finding the backup, because you do have to go all in. If you're going to take this approach, this collegiate approach, where you have two guys that can do it and you're not worried about running the quarterback, finding the first one is key. And then the second one needs to have dynamic running skills to complement what the first one does if he's out.
Think about our buddy Bruce Feldman, and we can have him on and ask him about this too, but Anthony Richardson at Florida, right? Anthony Richardson's 6'4", 238 pounds, and he ran a 4.4 in the spring there at Florida. So now he's not a perfect passer, but then start thinking about the wide receivers they have. Alec Pierce, Michael Pittman, big physical guys. You absolutely can help you in the run game. You've got the physical back. Quentin Nelson mauling people at the point of attack in the run game. Now you put a 4.4 athlete back there that's 238 pounds. We can grow and evolve in the passing game over time, but I think right now you get him, you can take another one late in the draft to kind of be able to fill in if you were to miss a game or two. I don't know. I kind of look at the way this team's built right now. I think they could make that type of a decision. It would be pretty fun to watch.
Yeah, it would be fun to watch. And DJ, let's look at how the league is trending. If you're not paying attention, the running game is coming back to prominence in the National Football League. We're seeing teams commit to the running game, particularly if they don't have a top 5, a top 7 quarterback. All of those other teams are going to the running game. We have seen the Chicago Bears with Justin Fields, and Justin Fields was drafted to be a franchise quarterback. But since they've decided 4 weeks ago to run the quarterback, one, he's had 80-plus yards in 3 of the 4 games. The Bears as a team have rushed for over 225 yards in 4 straight games. Only the 1976 Pittsburgh Steelers have done it. And the Bears are now playing competitive games. They're giving people fits. They're in the game into the 4th quarter. They've started to add big pieces around them. And N'Keal Harry comes over. You bring Chase Claypool, bigger guys who expand the strike zone, but who also excel at blocking on the perimeter. It is we call it a lifestyle change. When you do that, you're right. If the Indianapolis Colts are going to do that, they already have the wide receivers to be able to do that. Now it's making the commitment and finding the quarterback who has the ability to run the ball and give you that dynamic playmaking ability as a runner with the big arm talent to push the ball down the field, because that's how it has to complement power running game, vertical passing game.
Think about Jelani Woods, who we saw at a couple All-Star games. 6'7", 253-pound tight end who was a blocking tight end at Oklahoma State before he transferred to Virginia and showed what he can do catching the football. But now, big physical wide receivers, enormous physical tight end. You've got an offensive line that's better built to run block. You've got the best running back in the league behind you. Now you go out there, you get Anthony Richardson, you draft Malik Cunningham a little bit later. I think we might have just stumbled onto something here for the Indianapolis Colts to kind of create an identity and a brand of offensive football to complement what is already, it's a good defense. They've got some good pieces in place on that side of the ball.
Yeah, they absolutely have a good defense, and they're good enough on defense to win games. When you look at the way the team has been playing, the defense has been playing really, really solid. And they've missed some of their pieces. So then you get Shaq Leonard back, you get some of your pieces back defensively, you can hold your own. Offensively, that's where you're lacking. And so if you're not able to generate points through the air, then what you want to be able to do is control the clock, push the game into the 4th quarter by pounding on people. And what you're hoping is the cumulative effect of dealing with the body blows of a very physical running game with multiple runners coming at you allows you to win games late in the year. And so everyone has to be comfortable with that. The head coach has to be comfortable coaching tight games in the 4th quarter, because when you run the football the way that we are suggesting that you need to run it, you're going to have a bunch of tight games. You also need to have a nails kicker, because when you run the ball so much, anytime you get to the 30-35, you want to have a automatic kicker that can give you those 3 points, because points are valued at a premium, particularly when you're a team that runs it as much as we're talking about running it.
Yeah, well, the team that we're describing here, what we want the Indianapolis Colts to do is something that another team is already doing, and that team is the Baltimore Ravens. They had a big win over the Saints on the road last night. We're going to jump into that game, give you our thoughts on it. We'll do that right after this break. All right, Buck, let's jump into the game we saw last night. The Baltimore Ravens, they go on the road and they handle the Saints 27-13. A game that just didn't even really feel competitive, to be honest with you, even though the score was somewhat close. just felt like the Ravens were kind of in control of this game for a long time. Just your biggest takeaway from watching that one last night?
I think it was that the Baltimore Ravens were in control, and that the Baltimore Ravens are kind of back to playing to their identity. It's funny because when you hear people talk about this game and Lamar Jackson, the sense was that he had a spectacular game, and I felt like it was a solid game, but I didn't think it was anything extraordinary. He had 80 yards on the ground, had a couple touchdown passes, did his little thing in terms of moving around. But I think the big thing is the Baltimore Ravens were in control of the game because it seemed like they had the ball the entire game. Running it, taking their time, milking the clock, beating them up. It felt like they just physically beat up the New Orleans Saints over time. And to me, the surprise was this was a Saints team that was coming off a big win against the Raiders. They had shut the Raiders out. They had seemingly had some momentum in their corner, but the Baltimore Ravens took that right away and they physically beat them up. And so now you look at a Ravens team that's sitting at 6-3 and appears to be finding their way. This is a team that's dangerous. They are a dangerous team because they can run the ball like they run it. And as long as you have number 8, who's capable of going off at any moment, it gives you a chance to knock off some of the title contenders that are in that conference.
Can we talk about who the real winner of this game was, though? The Philadelphia Eagles, Buck, have the Saints pick. Do you know if the season ended today, that would be the 6th overall pick in the upcoming draft? I mean, Howie Roseman does it again. I mean, being able to make a trade like that, identify a team, a Saints team that's been good for so long, and they kind of under the impression that these picks, if you're going to trade picks, they're going to be in the 20s, and that's kind of how you value them. And then Howie identified a team that was going to be on the decline, and sure enough, it looks like they could secure a top 10 pick. If you go out and win the Super Bowl, which the Eagles have the only undefeated record in the National Football League right now, you got a chance to go win a Super Bowl and then still have a top 10 pick. That's a heck of a year there for the Philadelphia Eagles. So that was my takeaway watching that game. I'm with you on Lamar. I think it was a spectacular game, but no Mark Andrews out there. And once they have a lead, I feel like, I don't know, there's a better 4-minute offense team in the league right now than the way the Baltimore Ravens are equipped. And they did a nice job going out there and just closing out that ball game.
DJ, they are basically like playing against Wisconsin or UVA in the March Madness in the NCAA tournament. Like, you're down 8, but it feels like you're down 20 points because they're playing half-court basketball. They drain the clock, and it just seems like you just don't have an opportunity to catch up. I will say, Kenyon Drake has been a nice addition for him. He's given us some steady plays, running the ball in between the tackles. You talk about a team that rushed for almost 200 yards, 188 rushing yards on the ground. Lamar Jackson did a lot of the heavy lifting, but you can see where this offense can continue to evolve. And when they're able to get all of their pieces back, meaning Mark Andrews is able to enter the lineup. You have Isaiah Likely kind of growing and evolving, kind of growing into a role as a secondary tight end. You have Deshaun Jackson, who's still trying to get up to speed, but he might be the vertical threat that this offense needs. You can see that they might be playing better football down the stretch, and no one wants to see them on the ledger if you get into the tournament and this team is in. It's just a different team to prepare for, and it's hard in a one-and-done scenario to get ready for a team that plays like this.
No doubt. A big win for the Ravens. And to kind of wrap it up here on the draft thought, if you look at, by the way, great website here. Tankathon always kind of updates this in real time. I believe we do the same thing on NFL.com, so I should promote our website as well. But they show you where teams would be picking right now. So the Eagles would have 6 and 32. You look at the Denver Broncos, in that Russell Wilson trade, they obviously part with all those picks. Seattle, who's having a great year, that pick would be the 11th overall pick they got in the Russell Wilson trade. The Rams, who've traded first-round picks forever, the Lions own that pick in the Stafford trade. That would be the 12th pick, would be going to Detroit. So Detroit would have pick 12 and pick 5. And then Houston right now, who has the Cleveland Browns first-round pick in the Deshaun Watson trade, that would be pick 13, which would complement the number 1 overall pick they have as well. So going to be a lot of teams with multiple first-round picks, something we can dig in as we get closer to the spring. I want to encourage everybody to watch the Falcons and Panthers on Thursday Night Football. That is 8:15 Eastern Time on Prime Video. Also, that is available on NFL Plus. I want to thank our guest today, Kyle Duggar. Appreciate him stopping by and visiting with us. Fun show today, Buck. I want to encourage everybody again, all the Move the Sticks content, NFL's YouTube, NFL.com, the NFL channel, and the NFL app. You can find it all right there. And we will be back with one more episode this week. Probably look a little bit more at some of these college kids, the draft, and see if we can't fix the Carolina Panthers. So be on the lookout for that one. Appreciate you guys hanging with us and listening to Move the Sticks, presented by Grifols Plasma Donation Centers.